Am I an artist? I guess so. In some books or magazines or publications, they call me an artist, but I'm still just a student of the arts. I paint because I enjoy painting. I enjoy the process of painting. It's relaxing. I'm not into yoga or all that spiritual shit, but it's almost like a meditation for me. You know, I'm just doing what I do because it's compulsions. I have to do it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
My name is Dennis Bruce Spencer. I started painting in 1962. I knew at 5 years old, probably my first week of school in Germany, that I was born to paint. And I tried it a few times where I wasn't working. I tried just doing painting and selling my art at shows and whatnot, at craft shows mostly, or regular outdoor venues. But again, you got to make a living. You got to feed the kids. You got to take care of the mortgage and everything else. So I actually had to find work, and hence I had to get an education. So I went to U of M, got an education, found a job, worked, but I still painted. I always paint. Realistically, I started showing at mostly fairs and outdoor venues back in the late 70s, early 80s. But in reality, technically, I could say that my first public showing of my work was at the DIA. Well, I teach at a place in Ferndale where we actually show novices or amateurs or whoever wants to pay for a 2 or 3 hour class. We show them how to do a specific painting, whether they choose it or it's just part of the schedule for that night, and they're allowed to bring wine and beer, food, whatever, party. But I show people how to paint, and I entertain as I show them how to paint. The thing that inspired me most early on for painting women the way I do, and sometimes how I paint them or how they're presented on top of these mounds and whatnot, is in 1965, my father bought an album, Herb Albert's Tijuana Brass album, Whipped Cream and Other Delights. I see this album cover and I fall madly in love instantly at the age of 8 with this woman on the album cover. Not only did I love the album cover and the woman on it, the music was phenomenal. I mean, I still enjoy that music more than most types of music. So a lot of my inspiration, I guess, if I were to use that word, comes from that album cover. If you were to run your hands over one of my paintings, you don't really feel texture. It's a smooth surface. The texture comes from the surface that I paint on mostly. If I'm painting on wood, the texture is in the wood, whether it be a natural plain wood where you could see the grain, or it could be a man-made piece of wood, which is called OSB board. Then you could see the particles. It's like particle board. So that's what creates the physical texture. Most of my paintings I try to smoothen out as far as the surface goes. I let the surface speak for itself, but the paint is brushed down to make it very, very smooth, almost translucent, if you will. I like to mix my own colors, so most of my browns, most of my shades of yellows and greens are all made using blues and yellows and reds. I like primary colors. I like bright colors, and maybe I'll subdue them myself or mix them my own, but I like the primary colors. You don't see a lot of color selection on my palette. You can't not look at anything, in my opinion, on planet Earth and not consider it some art form somehow. Art is everything. I mean, you name it. You know, the way the grass grows, everything. Nature manifests art. Everything manifests art. Art is art.